I'm planning on buying nothing in 2022. That's right. And I'm excited about it. I'm so excited that I can hardly wait to tell you all about it. Hi, my name is Jessica. Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, consider subscribing. We talk all things money. I upload a new video every Thursday sharing with you my journey to financial independence. So it is a new year. Happy New Year, by the way. I'm kicking off this new year with one of my long-term goals. I've been thinking about doing this for at least the last 2 years. I'm doing a no-buy year. You may or may not have heard about it. It's also called no spend year. And I'm going to do that in 2022. Now, first of all, I don't need to do this from a financial standpoint, but there are many other reasons to do this. Although it is one of the most powerful ways to kickstart your year financially, if you want to get a head start on your personal finances, if you want to pay off your debt, if you want to save a down payment for your house or for an investment property, or if you just want to start investing your money, or if you want to retire early. Whether you want to get out of debt, save, invest, or retire early, it is one of the most powerful way of kickstarting your finances. Let's begin by talking about what is no buy year exactly, if you haven't heard about it. No buy year or no spend year, simply put, it's a commitment to cut out all of your non-essential purchases for an entire year to reset your spending habits. Before you get too overwhelmed by the idea of cutting out all of your non-essential purchases for an entire year, hold on, it doesn't have to be an entire year. You can do whatever period of time that you are comfortable with. You can do a no buy month, or you can start with a no buy week if that makes more sense to you. I'm ready to do an entire year, so I'm really excited about it. There are so many benefits to doing this. Regardless of what period of time you choose, whether you choose an entire year like me, or you choose a quarter, or you use a month or a week, you are going to reap the benefits. The first and the most obvious benefit is the financial one. You're going to save money. If you don't spend, the simple math will tell you you're going to save money. So that's the reason why a lot of people do it, and it's a really good reason to do it. The second benefit is it gives you a new perspective on life. It gives you a new perspective on your habits. It gives you insight into why you consume, why any of us consumes. And the third big benefit is that it helps you challenge your beliefs. Why do we do what we do in terms of our consumer habits, why we shop, why we bring in so much stuff into our lives? Why do we really do anything that we do? The bottom line is, if you do this, you are going to come out a winner one way or the other. And that is why I'm excited to share this with you. I've been thinking about it for a couple of years, like I said previously. Initially, I had planned on doing this in 2020, but because of certain circumstances, I wasn't able to do it. So I've had a lot of time to think about it. I've had a lot of time to ponder and plan and figure out why and how I want to do that. And that brings me to my next point. If you're going to do that, if you're going to do no spend year or month or whatever period of time you want to do it, you have to really get clear on your why. As a matter of fact, I encourage you to think through 4 key steps. The first step is the why. Why do you want to do it? If it's to pay off your debt, that's a good enough reason. If it is for you to invest in your retirement account, or if it's if you simply want to retire early, if you want to stop working full time, or you just want to retire and do whatever it is that you want to do, any reason, as long as it's important to you and you're very clear on that, that's the whole point. If you want to spend more time with your kids, for example, if you want to spend more time on a hobby, it doesn't matter. You've just got to get clear on the why. That's the first step. Why do you want to do it? If you don't have a strong enough why, you are less likely to stick to it. That's how most of us are. That's how human behavior works in general. So make sure that you have a really good why. The second thing you want to get really clear on is the rules. I will share a lot more on that. There are some basic rules that a no buy year consists of, but you get to make your own rules. That's the beauty of it. I'll get into it a little bit more later in the video and I'm going to share my own rules with you. So that's the second step. And then the third step is the process. How are you going to do what you're going to do? Again, I'm going to walk you through all of these things using my own example. That will give you an idea of what it entails. And the final step, or the fourth one, is the lessons. That's the whole point why we're doing this in the first place. What are we thinking that we're going to learn? And then really paying attention to it throughout that no spend period. And keep a close eye, monitor your own behavior, monitor your own thoughts, and pay attention to the lessons that you learn. The whole point is to learn those lessons and apply them for the rest of our lives, really, hopefully. So the best way that I could think of walking you through this process was to share my own plan with you. Why am I doing it? What's my why, and what are my rules? What's my process? What do I think I'm going to learn out of this? So I'll just share my own process with you. So hopefully that will give you an idea. So what's my why? And as I shared with you earlier in the video, the financial reason is not my reason. I don't really need to do this per se. So my reason is I just want to be more conscious. I want to become more conscious as a consumer. And if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know I've talked about minimalism. I've talked about FIRE, financial independence, retire early. So all of these things for me really work together. I want to become more and more conscious in my footprint, and my footprint from an environmental standpoint and just consumption standpoint. So this was just the next natural step. I've been working on my version of minimalism. I'm not a minimalism as per the definition, or if you've seen the documentary called Minimalism, that is not me. I'm not the person who owns 2 forks and 2 knives and 1 chair. That's not me at all. But it doesn't have to be all or nothing. That's the beauty of it. If you haven't seen my video on minimalism, I highly encourage you to watch it. I'll leave a link down below. That will give you an idea of how I got to that point. So for me, this was just the next natural step. And I feel like this is the time for me, so I'm ready to do it. And I'm really, really excited. That's the other thing. I'm not looking at it from a deprivation standpoint or anything like that. And you'll see that when I share with you my rules. And so this is supposed to add to my life. This is supposed to enhance my life. So I am super excited. So that is my why. I'm very, very clear on my why. I want this to be an extension of who I am, because I want to spend my life living rather than chasing things, accumulating more things, going out and buying things and storing things and being in that vicious cycle. I feel like I have everything I need right now. I don't need to go out and buy anything else. And I just want to spend my time really living and enjoying my life. So it's all about reset and a fresh start, if you will. Now that brings us to the next part, which is the rules. What are the rules? And like I mentioned, you get to create your own rules, but there are some basic things that you should follow when it comes to a no spend year or no spend month. And some of those basic rules are, of course, you're going to spend money on food. So that goes without saying, so that doesn't count. However, eating out is something different. So food does not mean restaurants or eating out. Food just means groceries. So obviously you're gonna do that. Second thing I'm gonna spend is money on consumables. Examples of consumables other than food are things like gas to drive your car, and soap, shampoo, that kind of thing, just personal maintenance type of things. So those things fall under consumables. Now, I haven't mentioned bills because I think that goes without saying. You're going to pay your rent, your mortgage, your bills, and all of that. So that goes your electricity bill, your phone bill. So those things kind of go without saying. So that's not what we're talking about in this no spend year. So we're going to spend on food, we're going to spend on consumables. And again, you have to be mindful of what those consumables are for you. So I just gave you a couple of examples, like, shampoo, conditioner, soap, gas, whatever else that might look like for you. The caveat there is that Purchase only when you need to. So you spend on replacement rather than continuing to add things. So let's use shampoo, for example, or any kind of hair care products. A lot of people, myself included, we have things that we need in the shower, and then we have a cupboard full of backup stuff. So that's what I'm talking about. So if that's the case for you, make sure that you exhaust all of your supply before you go out and buy. So by replacement, I mean you are literally out of everything before you're going to go and buy that item, whatever that item might be. And other replacement items, only you know what that might look like for you. So that's the beauty of it. So you get to build that into your plan. And the things that I am not going to spend on are things like eating out, restaurants, takeouts, that type of thing. And then of course, shopping, whether it's clothes or accessories, shoes, jewelry, what else? And anything else really, anything that would fall under shopping, household goods. I'm not going to spend on any of those. I don't need it. I don't need to bring anything else in. There is an exception. There are a couple of things that I need to purchase at some point in 2022. And these are a couple of household items. I know I need them because I'm going to be moving at some point this year. So I do need a couple of things. I know exactly what they are. I made a list. It's not a huge list, but it's just 2 or 3 items. I know I'm going to need them. So whenever the time is right, or if I get a good deal, I do need to purchase those. So I know that. So it's not going to be any type of impulse purchases. So those couple of things I will buy sometime in 2022. A couple of other basic rules that should apply regardless of how much of a time you're going to do this for. One key thing is that no pre-purchasing. So just because you know you're going to do a no by year or no by month, it doesn't mean you go out and buy a whole bunch of extra things. That defeats the purpose, because then you're just sort of shoveling money around. That's not the point, right? The point is to get your habits tightened up. So no pre-purchasing of anything, no pre-purchasing of gift cards or anything like that, so you could spend on your no by month or no by year. So that's very, very important. And then the other side of that is no going crazy at the end of your no spend period. So if you're doing 365 days of no buying, that does not mean that on December 31st you go crazy or you go Boxing Day shopping at the end of the year because you've done such a great job throughout the year. And you just, everything that you saved, you just blow it in a week or a month. That is not the purpose. So the way you want to do this is you do your regular spending, just living your regular life, figure out which period of time you want to do no spend. At the end of that period, you just go back to your normal if that's what you want. But I'm convinced that if you do this for any period of time, there will be no going back to normal. Your habits or your thinking will shift and you will alter your behavior, even if it's by 50%, by 20%, doesn't matter. So in any case, what you don't want to do is try and make up for the time lost, because that would defeat the purpose. The third part is the process. This is really important. So you want to think through the process before you embark on your no buy year. And what do I mean by the process? So look at the common situations. So look at your own personal life. So to give you my example, I'm not a big shopper. I've come a long way over the last 10, 15 years. And I'm not the person who goes and hangs out at the malls or does online shopping or anything like that. So I don't really take part in that. So I know that that's not going to be a problem for me. What I do need to pay attention for me is the food part, the eating out, the ordering in, and that kind of thing. So I know that I need to think through that. I need to have some strategies in place. For example, I'm going to get really good at meal planning. I have actually come a long way in the last couple of years. I've done much, much better than I used to. So I know that I need to kick that up a notch even more. So that means every Saturday or Sunday, sitting down and taking a few minutes to do meal planning, knowing exactly what that will look like in the upcoming week, and doing my grocery shopping accordingly so that I have meals ready. Not only I have the plan overall, but I also have meals ready, because I also know when I come home from work, I'm not the type of person who wants to cook a meal after a long day of work. I just want to come home. I want to have something ready to eat, which is where I fall into this ordering in situation. So I know that that's a weakness. So I want to have strategies to help me with those weak moments. I want to have that in advance. I don't want to be in a situation where I come home at the end of the day on a one fine Thursday at 7 o'clock and there's nothing to eat, and now I'm trying to order food. So those are the situations that you want to prepare for. So if you happen to be somebody who loves to shop and who loves to browse, stay away from the mall. So you have to know yourself, and you have to make sure that your strategies are in place in advance accordingly. Another strategy that I've put in place for this whole food piece is that I'm also doing 90 days of no sugar at the same time. And that was not my plan. I did do that back in August, so just in end of summer this past year. And I did no sugar for about 3 weeks, and it was really, really good. It was challenging for the first 2 or 3 days, but then I saw huge changes in my body and my mood. And so I've been wanting to do that. So I thought, why not do this at the same time? You know, there's this thing called habit stacking, which means you pick sort of a keystone habit, and a whole bunch of other habits are built upon that because that keystone habit makes it easier. So I thought, if I'm going to do no by year anyways, I might as well do no sugar, because if I'm not going to eat out, it's gonna make that no sugar thing a whole lot easier. I don't necessarily eat sugar on its own, but there's sugar in takeouts and the meals that you don't prepare yourself. You don't really know what's in those sauces, and a lot of those sauces tend to be really sweet, and so they clearly have a lot of sugar. So the two together actually are really complementary. So I might even do a whole year without sugar, but I don't know yet. But let's just start with 90 days, and we'll see how it goes. Just the thought even of doing no sugar for 90 days, I already can feel all the health benefits that I'm going to get. So that makes it really attractive for me. So whatever process you're going to come up with, make sure that you make it attractive and fun for you. The last thing you want to do is take a deprivation approach. If you feel like you're going to be missing out on something, you are not going to be successful if that's the mindset that you start with. So make it fun and make it attractive for you. And the last part is the lessons. All of this would be for nothing if we don't learn the lessons. Now, I don't know at this point what those lessons will be. What will be my lessons from No by Year, although I can imagine some of the lessons to be just around my habits. And I know I'll learn certain things, how I behave in certain circumstances, or how I deal with when I'm put in a situation where normally I would just spend money without thinking. How will I deal with that? So those are some of the things that I predict. But I think if I pay attention, there'll be a whole lot more to learn. Now, one of the things I might do, I've been playing with the idea of tracking and recording my journey in a blog. I don't know if I'm going to do that 100%, but I think I might do that. If I do decide to do that, I will put the link to whatever that blog might be down in the description box. And if you don't see a link, that means I chose not to do a blog. But I think I might just do that. If for no other reason than just for my own benefit. So there you have it. So that is going to be my No by Year. I'm really excited. I have no idea how this is going to go, but I couldn't be more excited about it. So I really hope that you join me. Even if you don't want to do a whole year, join me for any period of time and let me know down in the comments below. Have you heard of No by Year? Have you done it? Do you know anybody who's done it? And if you choose to join, let me know. Because if I know that there are other people who are doing it with me, then I will be sure to post more videos on my updates And if nobody's doing it, then I'll just probably write it in a blog for myself or something like that. So anyways, thank you for watching. Happy New Year. And I will see you in the next video. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.